Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mark Parham podcast. My name is Mark Parham. You can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Mark Parham _. Again, twitter.com/Mark Parham _. And the way you would spell Mark Parham is MarkParham is in Mary _. But anyway, I wanted to talk about J.K. Rowling's and Scott Adams. Scott Adams is he's one of the creators of the Dilbert comic strip, and you know who J.K. Rowling's is. But first, let's talk about Scott Adams. Scott Adams was facing backlash, or is facing backlash, for his comments about black people. And he got online. I think he said some comments about black people, and hate and just a bunch of stuff. You can go and look it up. But I'm a person where I support freedom of speech. Even though some people might be offended by what he said, I'm a person where I think that people should be able to say what they want to say. It's America. And once we get into censoring people, then it's very dangerous territory. Because you look at some nations can't talk about presidents. They can't talk about celebrities. They can't talk about social issues without, facing fines and all this other stuff. And I think that's crazy. I mean, what makes America an amazing place to live in is that we can sort of say what we can say what we want to say. And, there's laws that protect us. There's a constitution that protects us. And I think once we start censoring people, it's not a good idea. And I think his Dilbert comic strip, it was pulled from, a few, I think a bunch of newspapers around the country. And to be honest with you, some of those newspapers, they're biased, and some of those newspapers, would be calling him a hero if he was talking about Donald Trump and the Republican Party. It's amazing that if you talk about Donald Trump and talk about Republicans and conservatives, how you're the talk of the town, and, they never say anything and everything's okay. But as soon as you, go against the agenda, it's a problem. People start wanting to cancel you and, pull your books off the shelf and your comic strips out of the newspapers. It's a mess. And I think it's only getting worse. And, I'm glad that you have some people online that are speaking out against, this censorship, because you see it happening to authors. You see it happening to writers. You see it happening to people in entertainment. I mean, as soon as you go, right of what, the Hollywood agenda is, then they want to come after you. They want to pull advertisements. They want to just ruin your career. And I think that's horrible. But, if you look at it, we don't talk about Jimmy Kimmel. We don't talk about Jimmy Fallon and Sarah Silverman wearing blackface. A few years ago, or a few decades ago, they wore blackface, and they knew what they were doing. And, I think, some people talked about it, and, you hear it on social media every once in a while, but, they can still keep their jobs. They can host different events. They can interview the president, and nobody says anything. It's like nothing ever happened. But if that were a person who's not liberal, if that was a person who's conservative, or let's say Donald Trump did that, it would be talked about in the media 24/7, 7 days a week. It's amazing how, again, as long as you support the Hollywood agenda, they sweep stuff like that up under the rug. I think some of the skits are still on YouTube. And Jimmy Fallon, Sarah Silverman, and Jimmy Kimmel, they still have careers. Everybody, acts like nothing happened. And it's amazing, but it just shows you the hypocrisy of some of these liberals, in entertainment. If you're following the agenda, it's okay. But as soon as you have an opinion of your own, or you're, more on the right wing side or conservative side or Republican side, it's a problem. But I think some of these large media companies should, celebrate people who want to speak out, and people who have different opinions, and people who can think for themselves. When I think about the J.K. Rowling situation, because I think she did a podcast with some lady, Megan Phelps Rogers, who her parents were part of a controversial church or a controversial movement, a few years ago. Everybody was up in arms. Well, how could you come on a podcast with that woman, or how could that woman host a podcast, and this and that? That woman's a changed woman right now. I mean, I know her. She's a part of a group that was very controversial, and some of the things they said were very big, 10 years ago. And, rightfully so in some respects, but this is a woman who's changed her life, and people are still trying to bring up the past and, oh my God, this is horrible, and this is a person who's done this and done that. I mean, like, those same people haven't said some of those words, bad words, or done certain things behind the scenes. I mean, I get sick of some of the people in the media who act like they've never said anything racist, that they've been perfect all their lives. A person, change their life and, trying to make positive change. We should applaud that as a society, not bring it up. Oh, well, you did this back in 1992, and we shouldn't try to cancel people forever. I mean, because you'd have to cancel everybody. You'd have to fire everybody from a job if we went back and looked at people's records and what they did in the past. And I just think that's wrong. And as far as J.K. Rowling's, I think she's a hero in my opinion. I mean, yes, she said things that may offend some people, but you're not going to like everything somebody says 100% of the time. I mean, she's contributed to society. She's created she's a huge author. She's made people a lot of money. She's creative. She's, captivated people with her ideas and her books, and she's inspired a lot of people. So, why throw all that away just because a person says a few controversial comments that you don't like? I think that, they've been trying to cancel her and trying to, make her this bad person, but I think it's a Hogwarts Legacy that sold 12 million copies, and it earned, I think, $850 million. So it just shows you that sometimes the same folks who try to cancel you only make you bigger. By attacking J.K. Rowling, they've made her J.K. Rowling, my bad. They've made her even bigger. They've made more people curious about, her books, what she's doing. People are listening to her interviews. So the cancel culture thing, it doesn't work, in my opinion. Sometimes you bring more attention to people that you're trying to have people ignore. And it gets to a point where it just becomes ridiculous. I like that people are waking up. People are seeing that, everybody has said something in the past. People have said racist comments. Even people that you don't think, would ever say certain comments have said racist comments. I guarantee if you went back and looked at Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, all of those folks have said something behind the scenes when they were driving their car that was racist, and that if it was in public, people would get offended by. So, for all of these liberals to act like you have to be so perfect, and it's just not realistic. We all make mistakes. We've all said stuff that's offensive. We've all done certain things. And so to sit up and, try to ruin J.K. Rowling and ruin her whole career and make her this bad person. I think they were trying to bring up, oh, well, what about your legacy? And try to make her feel guilty about what she said. In my opinion, her legacy is cemented. I mean, she's captivated the world with her books, with her ideas. She used to be a woman. I think she was on welfare. She ended up, pulling herself up by the bootstraps. She was in, I think, an abusive situation with her husband. And so those are the people that we should look up to. Those are the folks that we should applaud. I mean, it's not like she went out here and assaulted somebody. She said some things about a certain community that people don't like. And then there's some people that do value what you have to say. So, again, let's not throw out both of these folks' contributions just because they have a different political belief or because they believe certain things. I mean, it'd be one thing if these people committed a crime or assaulted somebody on the streets, but I mean, are we going to sit up and be the thought police for everybody? Oh, well, we don't like what this person says, so nobody should buy the books, and it's crazy. So as far as Scott Adams and J.K. Rowling, again, some people might like them, some people might not like them, some people might like them. But if you support free speech, then, I think this is a stupid I think, both their situations, it's sort of stupid to want to cancel two people that have made contributions to society and, make them seem like they're the worst people in the world. I mean, you have folks that have, stolen money from banks and governments that don't get treated like this. So that's just my opinion. And again, that's all I want to say on, both people. And I think the controversy it's overblown. I think people should get back to, opening themselves up to hearing different perspectives and just, not putting themselves in a box. Again, I'm a libertarian, but I listen to Democrats. I listen to some stuff Republicans have to say. I might not agree with it, but that's one of the beauties about living in America. So, That's all I have to say. And again, enjoy your day. Thanks for listening to my podcast. I know I'm going to make more podcasts in the future talking about politics and sports and just a bunch of topics. So again, thank you for listening, and have a great day.